What's up, guys? So today I am going to be tinting the factory headlights and taillights for Foxbody Mustang. A lot of people have asked me in the past, how do I smoke my lights? Sometimes I've purchased the ones from LMR or Blue Oval Industries, and then I started getting a little bit more creative where I've actually taken those diamond style headlights that you can get from LMR and then tinting them other colors like the blue headlights that you can actually see on my silver Dutch coupe. So today I wanted to have a better, more sinister look for the 93 turbo coupe. And I had these extra set of headlights and taillights that actually came off of the yellow lemon drop car. So these are the ones that I'm going to use and get them on that car, and it should make it look a little bit meaner for the streets. So it's a pretty easy procedure. It just takes a little bit of time like anything. Preparation is the key in this, and really a Scotch pad is a good friend. This is a silver one. You can also use a purple Scotch pad. And what you want to do is you just want to go over the entire surface area of your taillights and all of your lights for that matter, and make sure that they are scuffed and they look consistent. Now they're going to look almost, they're going to look sanded, so they're going to be hazy looking. And that's nothing to worry about, because once you apply the clear coat, they're going to come back shiny again. And that is the trick that I use, is I actually use clear coat and I put a little bit of base coat in there. So in this case, because I want to tint them for that smoke look, I'm going to be adding a little bit of black base coat into the clear. I'm going to show you guys how I mix that up a little bit later. For my blue lights, that's what I did, is I put a little bit of blue base coat into the clear and did a couple coats, and that's how I got that effect. So for now, got to do a little bit of the dirty work, and I've already started, but I need to make sure that everything is scotched down and nice and ready for the clear to stick. So you guys want to make sure you get all the edges and everything else. Now if you're wondering for your taillights, because they have this factory trim black paint in between the lenses, well, these ones are pretty faded, so I'm actually just going to clear the whole surface. So I'm sanding these down, and we'll see how they look after, and if they need be, then I'll actually mask off the lens area, and then from there I can redo this area in between with some satin trim paint. One thing that we will be doing after too is we'll be masking off the areas that we don't want painted, such as the top of the headlight housing here. So this is going to get masked off just to make sure that we don't we don't need this all shiny up here. We want to retain that nice trim factory look. So that's what we're getting into right now, guys. Just going to scotch these down, make sure everything is good. After that, we'll wipe everything down with brake clean, mask off all the areas that we don't want to paint, and that's about it. So here we go. Alright guys, so I just finished all the Scotch pad application on the lights. You can see that they all have that nice sanded look. Almost dull, if you will. So now I'm going to go over everything with some brake clean. So just spray it on, wipe it down with a cloth, get everything nice and clean, see how everything looks, make sure I didn't miss any spots using the Scotch pad. And then we're going to mask off those areas that we don't want, and we're going to get into mixing some clear. now's the time to mix the clear coat up. And it's a little bit of trial and error because it depends on how much you're going to mix up or how much you need for your application. I'm just going to use a coffee cup here and mix the clear coat up as you normally would according to the clear that you're using. Then I'm going to go ahead and drop in a little bit of black base that I have left over from one of the previous jobs that I did. Now, most importantly, guys, you don't want to just go in and paint your product without doing some testing first. So I actually have another lens over here, which is going to be my test lens. So I'm going to be trying out on this first, making sure that I know how many coats that I need to get the desired amount of tint to the lenses. Once I know what that one looks like, I'll go ahead and repeat it on our products here. So just going to go ahead, mix up this clear coat, get everything ready, spray that lens, and we'll be one step closer to that finished product. So here we are, guys. Here is the black mixed in the clear, so it looks smoky. So I'm going to go ahead and get this poured into the gun, and we'll go ahead and spray up our test light and see what happens. Alright guys, so you can see I've sprayed one test coat on here. It's not looking very dark, right? So it's one thing that you need to be careful about when you're tinting stuff. The first coat always seems like it's not that dark, and then when you do your second one, you'll be surprised at how quickly it can compound. Now if I do the second coat and it's still not looking dark, I'm going to add some more black, and then from there we should be in pretty good shape. One other key point that you want to remember is that you can see here behind me, I've taped everything down and I've positioned everything in a way that it's going to be easy to spray from all angles here, because you want to make sure that when you're spraying, number one, things aren't going to blow away. That's why I've masked some of them down. And number two, that you're in a good position that you can reach all of the items that you really want to spray. So remember guys, mask for making sure that you don't get high off paint fumes and shorten your lifespan. Got a well ventilated area with the fan there. You really don't need a booth for this type of thing, guys. You're not trying to, spray that show quality paint job. You just want to make sure your dust levels are down and that you've cleaned everything up really well. So we're just gonna let this go ahead and tack up a little bit more, spray that second coat on there, and then we're gonna decide if we need to put more black. What I did is I ended up spraying a second coat. It wasn't getting any darker, so I actually went back and I added more black base coat to the clear coat and mix that up to then spray a third time, where I finally started to notice quite a bit of smoke effect coming to the lens. So we'll have to be mindful. We can do a quick little comparison here. So you can see we're getting that nice smoked color effect here. And so we did two of the really light, I guess the first mix of that tinted clear, plus one coat of a thicker tinted one. So maybe about 2 coats is probably what we're going to want to get a nice smoked look. We'll see as we go. And you want to remember is that when it dries, it usually dries a little bit darker than you would think. So I'm just going to go ahead now, knowing that we have the color that we want. I'm just going to wipe this down one more time, make sure that everything is nice and clean, and then we're going to go ahead and get tinting the taillights and headlights for our 1993 Turbo Mustang. Alright guys, so this is after the first coat. It's just tacked up, so I'm going to go ahead and probably put the second and last coat on. Getting away with 2 coats is usually what you want to try and achieve, but you know, if you got to go ahead and put a third one down to get them a little darker, go ahead and do that. But we'll see what happens here. Everything's looking real good so far, so just get my mask on, get spraying. There we are guys, really thick second coat, making sure that looks nice and wet, and I think that's going to be a nice smoke look and going to look killer on this red coupe. Going to make me like red just a little bit more, so we're going to let this dry and get them bolted on and see what it looks like. There you go guys, tinted headlights and taillights on the 1993 Hellion Coupe. I think it oh, that's f***ing better with that off. So there we are, tinted headlights on the 1993 Hellion Coupe. A little bit of labor this afternoon, but I think it definitely transformed the look of this car and those original headlights, to be honest, because you know, they weren't 100% crystal clear. They were used headlights. Scuffing them down with that Scotch pad and hitting them with clear coat really brings them back to life, and just adding that little bit of black base coat in there, which tinted them up, gives them a little bit more of an aggressive look. So you can see here in the back when we're comparing taillight to taillight, you know, I like it. I think that with the addition of the black 5.0 emblems that we put on the side yesterday, getting rid of some of that chrome, makes the car look pretty mean overall. So good detail wax to go a long way, and see what this thing looks like when it's all polished up going down the road.